Morning.
Hello, John.
Hey, morning. How are you?
It is now 12 o'clock on the dot here on the East Coast of the US.
Yeah.
Um, oh, now there's more. I was going
Yep.
to say, was this canceled with all the other ones that I just got mentioned?
Yeah. Just as always, we give a few minutes to allow folks to join the call. So, yeah.
Well, sometimes people are on other calls and sometimes uh, like happens to me, I'm doing something else and realize what time it is and
Exactly.
late. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Just curious to know who's the iPhone Shahar? Hello? Yeah, for those who just joined the call, just want to say we're giving a few minutes to let folks join the call. So please hold on.
Hey, I'm John. Hey, guys. Sorry, I joined a bit late. I had some connectivity issues.
No problem. Okay, I think we can get started. So let me just share my screen. All right. Can everyone see this?
Yep.
All right. So welcome everyone to the bi-weekly Dough Heat Exchanger call. We have we're now in December, very close to the end of the year. So I think it's both an exciting and a busy time. We have a few items to go over. And maybe we can start with some news on this sub-project, which is I am transitioning away as the sub-project lead for the ACS Dough Heat Exchanger effort. And the new leads for the sub-project will be Jabari and Catherine. And Catherine, unfortunately, cannot join today's call, but she'll be on the calls moving forward. She's a colleague of Juan Carlos's at Rital. And I think everyone's familiar with, or I would say most people are familiar with Jabari. Jabari, do you wanna say a few words?
Thanks for the introduction, John. No, you know, I'm looking forward to the opportunity, getting to work with you guys and Catherine as well. I know we have a lot of work to finish up from this year, but I also know that we have some things that we'd like to work on for next year, and I'm looking forward to hearing back in terms of what is needed on the operator side as well as the vendor side, and trying to bring those things into fruition, right? And addressing those things in the industry. I think we have a really good team here of people who have a lot of experience and talent, and I look forward to working with you.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, thanks, Jabari, for stepping up and helping out OCP as always. So thanks for that. So just one quick other thing, just because I'm stepping away from this role doesn't mean I will not be involved in this sub-project. I will continue to be involved and support this the sub-project as needed. So anyway, just wanted to make that announcement since it's official now. So congrats to Jabari and Catherine. Very quickly, an email went out earlier this week to those who are subscribed to OCP. It's a notification that the 2024 Regional Summit is around the corner, and the call for presentations is open. So I'll just quickly go over that. So the 2024 Regional Summit, as always, will take place in Europe. It's going to be in Lisbon towards the end of April. And the summit is seeking contributions in specific areas. So DC sustainability, artificial intelligence, security, data protection, power and cooling, which is where we are, and to a certain extent we kind of touch other areas too. Sustainable, scalable, computational infrastructure, and then EMEA deployments of OCP recognized solutions. So just a few important deadlines to take note of. So as I said, the call for presentations just opened this week. It will close on February 5th. So as part of the Dough Heat Exchanger sub-project, we will be looking to solicit any potential contributions and discuss them, and then finalize them and then push them forward through the cooling environments track. And then based on the submissions and the amount of time available, the speakers will be notified of the decision. And then beyond that, it's just a process of submitting draft slides, getting feedback, and then adjusting the slides as requested, a few weeks before the actual summit. So please take note of this. I understand that the end of the year is it's, is a busy period. It's a weird period, but hopefully we should have more than enough time to solicit topics, or at least discuss them, and then agree to them, and then push them forward by February 5th. So, please let Jabari and Catherine, or even myself, know in the interim period as to what thoughts are, and basically what sort of material we'd like to put forward for the regional summit that falls in line with the scope that that the regional summit would like to focus on. So the link is in the meeting notes document. The information is also available on OCP. If you go to the webpage, go to events, regional summit, and then go to call for presentations. All the information is right over there. So one final thing about this topic is, like last year, this is an in-person event only. So unlike the global summit, there will be, well, actually, I'm not sure if the global summit had live streaming, but it's an in-person event only, and live streaming or remote presentation is not supported for this event. So please take this into account when you're thinking about any specific actions you'd like to take in relation to the regional summit. Cool. Do we have any questions on that?
No questions. Thank you.
Okay. Jabari, you wanna quickly go over future efforts, and then maybe I'll talk about ongoing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure, no problem. So we have talked about a couple of these things before, but just I guess remind people, we did talk about the heat exchange requirements document that we need to update. That was completed a couple of years ago, so there are some references in there that have been dated. So we have to go through those to make sure they are meeting current industry standards. For example, like what the ASHRAE water classes. And that's one thing. And then also we would have had updates to other OCP documents that would have been referenced, like the cool plates, etc. So we have to do an update with respect to that. I'm really sorry, John, I'm getting a really important phone call and I have to take it. Can you just discuss the feasibility and
Sure, I can do that.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello.
Yeah, so as Jabari was saying, we're just briefly outlining a couple of future efforts that could be targeted for updates at the regional summit. I think the first one is that he already touched on was the heat exchanger requirements. We already have a revision one that's been contributed, I think, over a year ago. And I think consistent with what's being done in the ACS track, updates are made, and maybe there are some slight adjustments in format towards a revision 2. So Jabari will be, seeking help with ensuring we have the most up-to-date information as part of that revision 2. I think another topic that has gained a lot of traction in recent times, in relation to liquid cooling and heat exchangers, but not specifically in the Dow heat exchanger form factor, is feasibility and expectations of future AALC systems. I think if you walk the floor of the OCP Global Summit, you may have seen a lot of solutions that were displayed by multiple vendors, focused on air-assisted liquid cooling. They probably took multiple forms. Some of them were sidecar solutions, some of them were Dow heat exchanger based. But in principle, it's still a closed loop system that relies on facility air to generate the cooling resource. So this is just an open topic that Jabari and I kind of put in here, just to understand, to kind of discuss this with the community. The intention was to not do like a very extensive study, but maybe focus more on feasibility, and then maybe expectations of future ALC systems, right? So expectations in the sense of, okay, what what should the boundary conditions be? What should the performance parameters look like? And then feasibility in the sense of like at a high level, look at, um, what would this solution need to look like, without getting into the nitty-gritty details of specific design. And, I think that's where different vendors can take that and figure out what works best for not only themselves, but their customers as well. So at a high level, we have outlined a few parameters or areas. One is to look at the sidecar solution. And the intention for this is because we've seen a lot of these products in the market, or starting to appear in the market. And second is, in this work stream, we have focused so far on door heat exchanger based sidecar solutions. So sorry, door heat exchanger based ALC systems. So I think it might be good for this community to maybe start talking about the alternatives. And certainly a popular one right now is the sidecar solution. So potentially we could look at parameters such as approach, capacity/density, what airside or coolant side delta T's could be seen or are considered acceptable, and then some projections on power consumption. So, yeah, so at a high level, that's just what Jabari and I were thinking about. I just want to open it up to the floor now to see what people think. And Jabari, I don't know if you returned from your call, but is there anything else you'd like to add to what I just said? Okay, I think he's still on his call. Yeah, so I just want to open this up to the floor to see if there are any comments or thoughts over here from those on the call.
Yeah, no comments.
So then let me ask this question. So considering that this would potentially be targeted for the regional summit in April, obviously this effort cannot be can potentially, it might be limited in terms of time. So then maybe the scope of this effort probably needs to be more constrained or high level. So any thoughts on how this group can accomplish that by working together?
Maybe we can do some groups, small groups, to go ahead with this issue.
Okay, so form a small group or work stream to focus on this. Okay. And Wankala, sorry, not to put you on the spot, but I mean, this is open to everyone. And in your opinion, who should be involved in this group? I mean, obviously, we should have folks from the supplier side because they have knowledge of making this solution work. But any other thoughts? Because considering the time frame, it's probably important to start forming this group quickly and establishing the scope. So, any thoughts here?
Like always, it's important to have the suppliers and customers together in a group.
Okay. Anyone else have any thoughts or comments in general on this topic? Okay, moving forward, just want to give a quick update on ongoing efforts. So, for those who have viewed the Global Summit material but also attended, from the Dough Heat Exchanger sub-project side, we had multiple presentations. A couple of them were on aluminum microchannels and Dough Heat Exchanger applications, which was presented by Sankar from Danfoss and Philip from Boyd. So we have moved forward to start compiling the information in a white paper format. And then the second one is the presentation with the modular data center sub-project in the data center facilities group, which focused on densifying modular data centers with hybrid cooling. So I just wanted to give a quick update over there. And on one of these efforts, I did want to review a certain section with the community to make sure that we have captured the appropriate information in there. So with the aluminum microchannel in Dough Heat Exchanger applications, we have started moving a lot of the material into different sections, focusing on a lot of the analysis and that was summarized at the Global Summit. One area that we had discussed and let me just quickly zoom in here, that we had discussed on a previous Dough Heat Exchanger call was talking about challenges of microchannel heat exchangers in microchannel heat exchangers and Dough Heat Exchanger applications. And I think that was primarily related to two things. One is the use of aluminum as the fundamental material. And then the second one was related to potentially hooking up the door with this aluminum microchannel heat exchanger to either a facility water system or a primary loop, or a technical cooling system or a secondary loop. And in general, we had outlined four specific areas. I think one was water quality. The second one was particulate filtration. The third one was wetted materials. And the fourth one was inhibitor package. So we have started putting in some sort of expanding on these topics. So I just wanted to make sure that we check with the community what we have elaborated on in here makes sense, or is not missing any vital details. So on water quality, basically what we put in here is that it has significant influence on long-term operation with undesired effects such as fouling, corrosion, etc. This is the primary reason why ASHRAE has published guidelines on water quality for facility water and technical cooling system loops. And then we link to the ASHRAE TC 9.9 material that's been circulating in the industry for many years now. Does that sound right? Just quickly checking on this one before I move on.
John, I have one question about this Ray. Do you know which guidelines they publish? Because sometimes they say, okay, the water quality should be that and that, but they're taking in account that in the loop it's only copper, also the cold plates with copper. In case they are using aluminum as well as copper, maybe the conditions will change, because aluminum need to have a different pH to be able to reduce the possibility of galvanic corrosion. And for aluminum, if we are using aluminum in the loop, we have to consider as well this aluminum and the water quality for aluminum.
That's a great question, Juan Carlos. The one that I'm referring to is the document that's publicly available, which I think is one of their white papers. Let me scroll down to the section that talks about quality. So this is the one that talks about water quality. And I do believe they have a section that talks about wetted materials where they do include aluminum and alloys, and they have provided a couple of comments on, they do talk about galvanic corrosion. And they've also talked about proper surface treatment, coatings or proprietary methods, and so on and so forth. So this is the document that I'm referring to. And I purposely use this one because it's also publicly available, as opposed to the other stuff that's, that you usually need to buy the books or it's behind a paywall.
Yeah, okay.
So there should be adequate information in there to, to potentially talk about, water quality and galvanic corrosion at a high level. Would you agree?
Yeah, yeah. Also, I have to read this document, but yeah, if they speak very deeply in the issue of aluminum, I think it is okay.
I wouldn't say they speak deeply, but they at least touch about it. So I've just sent a link in the chat, so you should be able to see it, Juan Carlos. So check it out and then let us know offline if you have any comments. Yeah, appreciate that.
Okay. Yeah.
But I understand what you're saying, John. I mean, it's a good, there is publicly available information to address that specific concern in terms of water quality. I think there's a space for, I guess, some kind of vendor feedback in terms of what are the appropriate, when you actually get to purchasing and design and stuff, there's a space for the vendor to give some feedback or recommendations in terms of what liquids or the qualities of liquid that are appropriate for the equipment. But this ASHRAE document is very good in terms of exactly what you said, right? Providing for a broad range of wetted materials some information.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jabari, and I think that's why we're being specific as to what we're outlining here is that it's meant to be a general and just a general list, and it touches on a few common themes. It's not meant to be exhaustive. But I think at least the important thing is to surface that, hey, you can't just add an aluminum microchannel heat exchanger in your door and then install it in any loop and expect it to work without issues. I think that's the intention here. The intention here is to say, hey, in general, these are areas that we believe should be looked at. But then at the end of the day, I would assume that the end user would do the necessary due diligence to ensure that this solution would function long term. Is that reasonable?
Yeah, very.
Yeah.
Okay.
John, one question about this document. It is in where can we find this document?
Oh, yeah, this should be. Oh, it's restricted. I'll fix that. Yeah. What I'll do is I'll put a version. I'll put a version where people can sort of can at least add comments. I'll try to make sure it's not view only, but I'm not that familiar with the Google interface. But I'll see what I can do. Yeah, and I can send it after the call.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Then the second point is particulate filtration. So this may be primarily driven by two parameters: the size of the coolant channel and connection of the door heat exchanger assembly to facility water or technical cooling system loops. So the typical coolant channel dimension for should be is visibly smaller compared to a fin and tube heat exchanger. So I need to follow up with Sankar and make sure I have the appropriate comparison over here. Though having said that, the fin and tube heat exchanger, Juan Carlos, I don't know if you remember off the top of your head, the one that we did, the custom one for the white paper we contributed, that one must have been what, 5 or 6 millimeters in diameter?
The tube?
Yeah, the copper tube.
Yeah, could be between 7 millimeters outside diameter and 10 millimeters.
Sorry, what about inner diameter? Because that's what we're comparing here.
Usually inside diameter is wait a moment.
Okay, while
Yeah.
oh, go ahead, Juan Carlos.
I will say 6.5 millimeters inside
Okay, so then I'll just
to 9 to 9.5. Yeah, something like that will be 80-90% all rear doors.
okay, so then I'll just say around 6 millimeters. That's a good reference point because I know the microchannel is sub 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's a good visual comparison to have so people understand what that means. And then so thank you for that. And then if the door heat exchanger assembly is connected to a TCS loop, adequate filtration may already be implemented. So usually in the CDU to support long-term operation. If connection to a facility water system loop, supplementary filtration may be required depending on the quality of the water. Sounds good to everyone?
Sounds good. Yeah.
Okay. Then wetted materials should be evaluated to address undesired effects such as galvanic corrosion, etc., based on the loop the door heat exchanger is connected to. I think this is a fairly general statement, so should be fine. And then related to that inhibitor package, additives added to the coolant to enable dissimilar metals and other materials present in a loop and prevent corrosion and other unwanted byproducts. Once again, another relatively general statement. And I know there are vendors out there who, especially PG25 vendors out there who are like, some of them are like, oh yeah, you can add aluminum to our loop, but I think it's important for us to call these out because we cannot make any assumption as to what the reader either already has in their system or is thinking about. So yeah.
But one point about that, also if we use
Sorry, which one, Juan Carlos? You're talking about wetted materials or inhibitor package?
both.
Okay.
Also, if we use inhibitors, propylene glycol, which is also very good to avoid corrosion because reduce the conductivity. Also, if we check the quality of water. Also, if we know that the aluminum could be protected by using different methods. The customers usually are afraid of aluminum in the loop and they ban this aluminum. So I think maybe it's a cultural issue. Anyone want to mixture copper and aluminum, but usually customers don't want to use aluminum.
Yeah. I think that's I would say that's a pretty well understood sentiment. But this paper over here does show some significant advantages of looking at the aluminum design. So, we just wanted to make sure that people don't think that it's a free pass. There's a lot of due diligence that needs to be done, as you've highlighted. So,
yeah.
Yep. Okay. Anyone else have any comments? If not, I appreciate the feedback. And I'll, make a few adjustments in here, but otherwise the white paper is coming along fairly well. So, and then the second white paper is with regards to densifying modular data centers with hybrid cooling. This was another presentation at the Global Summit. This one's also coming along fairly well. Working with David and Carl, who are involved in the wider OCP area and multiple areas. So yeah, so with these documents, as requested, I will share view-only links after the call or following up on the call. And then I'd appreciate it if anyone has any comments or feedback, please direct them to either me or Jabari or yeah, maybe between the two of us as a starting point. All right. Yeah. And with these, so those are the two ongoing efforts. In that case, the goal is to at least have what we would consider as a high quality draft ready by towards the end of the year. And then hopefully we can send it out to the community for final checks, and then add it to the contribution portal for the wider people to read and take advantage of. Okay. One last thing, just wanted to actually, before I go to that, I see a lot of relatively new faces on the call. Since we're in a period where we're closing out ongoing efforts and planning future efforts. I just want to maybe open it up to the community to see if there are any thoughts or suggestions on potential areas to look at, that would be of benefit to the wider industry. Any thoughts over here? I just want to make sure people get an opportunity to talk about that.
I want to consult with you about the ability of adding two-phase rear doors to the single-phase rear doors, meaning condenser rear doors.
Okay. I don't know who's talking, but yeah, so appreciate you bringing that up.
This is Shahar from Zutacor.
Okay. Thanks for joining the call. The revision 1 of the door heat exchanger requirements document, since we're here, let me just quickly do that. So the initial version that's been out actually does not distinguish, actually accommodates both single phase and two phase door heat exchangers. And I opened the wrong document. Give me 1 second. There we go. Because at the time that we were looking to contribute this document, actually Juan Carlos came to us and said, hey, it's missing the two-phase version also. So we made adjustments to the document to ensure that we're not being specific to only single-phase solutions over here. So is there, like, for example, this version was set up so that it shows both, it could apply to both single phase and two phase.
Yeah, in the side 3, you write here this adjustment 3. This page 3.
Page 3.
Yeah, there you can see here adjustment to accommodate two-phase coolant. Revision in the table. Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, maybe what you're looking for is something beyond that. But I think, Shahar, it would be great if you can just check this, and then maybe if you feel like there could be more information that would be helpful to the wider community, because we're going to do a revision 2 of this document. And Jabari is going to be leading that. Then yeah, please let us know, and we'd be happy to accommodate.
Yeah, sure. Any comments you have in terms of revisions of this document, and then we can make it more useful to the community, you just let me or John or Lilac know. Sorry, or and Catherine know.
Sure. Thank you very much. We will go over this and give feedback on it.
Okay, and let me just post a link in the chat thread, so it's while we're at it, since I have it open. Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for bringing that up. Anyone else? Jabari, I'm just going to note that,
yeah, no problem.
Yeah, ensure two-phase solutions are adequately covered. Yeah. Did I cut someone off? Apologies. I feel like someone was about to say something, but
I wanted to point out that the interfaces between the rear door and the rack. We started with one document to write about this issue, how to. Yeah, I think it is there.
here we go. This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if have someone here in this community want to work in this document to be able to define the interfaces we have to connect to the rear door and the rack and where to connect it to everything. We speak about the 3 points: this mechanical, fluid, and the power and communication for sure. Okay, retail is behind that, but maybe we need more vendors who have interest to define these interfaces to be able to make something good all customers are able to use in the proper way.
So to ensure that it's widely applicable and consistent, right, Juan Carlos?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
This is the idea, because if retail write that, maybe make no sense to for other suppliers. Yeah.
I mean, since I'm shameless, I'm gonna ask people on the call. I mean, I see a few vendors. Mike, I know you're more on the hardware management side, but do you think you'd be able to maybe like as a proxy, maybe help us to figure out or ensure that we're making the right definitions here?
I can see if I can get some of our guys to take a look at the document and then pass on comments.
Okay, appreciate that. Rajesh, I'll chat with you offline. I don't want I don't want to put you on the spot. But yeah, I think it might be good to see if maybe we can get some support from Delta as well, if that's okay.
Sure, yeah, we'll chat offline.
Okay, thank you. How about the folks from Zutacore? Would you all be interested in helping out here?
Yes, although yes, of course.
Okay. Juan Carlos, do you think maybe with maybe four suppliers, that's a good starting point? I mean, we can always check back with Benny. I think that might be another good thing to do. What do you think?
Yeah, and at least one customer will be really helpful to define
Okay.
that.
I'm here. I can. I'll have to check and see if I can get mechanical resources. But what I'll do is I'll also follow up with Ben Sai from Dell, because he's been interested in this, in high capacity doors. So this would definitely high capacity doors, and even more so high capacity racks. So if you want, I can maybe follow up with him.
Yeah, will be great.
Jabari, go ahead.
Oh no, I was gonna say that you should get Ben on the call. It's fine. You got the operator or customer part, so never mind.
Okay, so Ben, and then I'll check with Rajesh offline, and then Jabari, do you mind following up with Benny?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'll follow up with Benny about this work stream, and I'll talk to you offline about the other points I want to raise.
Sure. Let's do that. Yeah, because Juan Carlos, I agree. This is an important effort because I think a lot of the other liquid cooling systems that are being developed for OpenRack v3 are coming along fairly well, like BlindMate, liquid cooling, so on and so forth. We already have a spec for an RPU. I'm sure, there are many different types of CDUs that could go into a rack, and I think that just creates a whole lot of complexity in terms of interfaces. When you combine, manifolds, in-rack CDU, door heat exchanger, it becomes quite complicated. So I think it might be good for us to sort of address these, I would say proactively address, how this would come about. What I would say, Juan Carlos, is, and maybe this is where, maybe Javari and I would appreciate you kind of work with us offline, is can we maybe polish off this document a little bit and be a bit more specific on the scope and what actually would constitute this work or contribution? I think that would be helpful. Sorry, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but maybe, and I know you're slammed, but I think that might be another sort of parallel step to take over here. Sounds good?
I'll work with one. Don't worry, we'll get this done because we'll need it to engage the people, the expertise that's required, so everyone's on the same page.
Agreed.
So this will be done, John.
Thank you. Okay, that was an excellent segue, if I say so myself. Do we have any other topics the community would like to bring up that have not been covered in the agenda so far? And what I'll do is I will copy this topic that Juan Carlos brought up and put it in here so people know where to find. Okay, if not, just very quickly, I wanted to check on check with the community. So the door heat exchanger community has bi-weekly calls. So if you do the math, the next call is on December 21st, which is very close to Christmas. So we just wanted to maybe do a quick check around the room to see if it, about availability, if it makes sense to keep that call, or should we just reconvene at the start of the year? So any thoughts over here? Because we could keep the call, but if only 2 people show up, then that would be, to be honest, that would be a shame. So any thoughts? I appreciate folks speaking up over here.
Yeah, I will be on the road, so I prefer to move this call to January.
Okay, so then the next meeting after this one would be the 4th, right? If I'm doing the math correctly.
I think so, yeah. First
Yeah.
week, I think.
Yeah, I hope that's not too close to New Year's for people. I'm kidding, but I mean, it's fine if people want to move it. I'll be available and on the day, on both days, I should say.
Yeah, I would say we should probably keep at least one of them. And my guess is probably January 4th is appears more doable compared to the 21st, but just wanted to kind of go around the room and make sure that makes sense.
Everyone else okay with the 21st of December? Or would you all like to delay it to the next date?
Okay with me.
I won't be able to join the 21st call. I'll be joining January 4th call.
January 4th is good for us too. It was the call.
Mike, you were saying something?
Either is okay with me.
Okay. Okay, so it seems like we have Jabari. I guess it seems like we have enough folks who probably prefer to skip the next call and move to the 4th. So maybe we can work offline to adjust the calendar appropriately and then plan for the 4th of January.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So skip. So okay, I'm just gonna say plan to skip. Next call on 01/04. Excellent. All right.
By the way, John, congratulations. I just saw that you are your cooling environments lead. Well,
Co-lead. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, that was
You left
something
that out.
Sorry, Kim. Sorry, what was that?
You left that out at the start of the conversation when I was talking.
Oh yeah, that's because it was just something that was announced like yesterday or talked about yesterday. So I was like, it's fine. I'd rather focus on the new leads for this sub project. But yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yeah, it was it's I've been involved in OCP for a few years now, so it's been a lot of fun meeting a lot of people and learning a lot. So hope to continue doing that with Sean and Cosimo as co-leads of cooling environments. But yeah, thanks, Jabari.
Congrats. Looking forward to it. You have a wealth of knowledge.
Yes, for sure.
Thank you. Okay, if we have nothing else, just want to, since this is going to appears to be the last call of the year, I just want to thank everyone who's been involved in the Door Heat Exchanger community over the course of 2023. We've made a lot of progress. We're closing out a bunch of contributions, and I think we're working on a lot of relevant areas. So thank you very much. We hope to see you all to continue being involved in 2024, and happy holidays, everyone, if we don't talk.
Yeah. Merry Christmas for everyone as well.
Merry
Bye-bye.
Christmas, happy holidays.
Yep. Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye,
Bye-bye.
guys.
See you.
Yep.